Alrighty, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Hey George, how you doing? I see you right up there. Very cool. Welcome to my neighborhood. Will you be? Will you be? Will you be my friend? Hello, George. What else we got going on here? We're getting a couple people coming in. This is cool. This is cool right from the beginning. I like that. As we take a sip of our tea. There we go. All right. So yes, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, world. And what do we see here this morning? We see the dollar just a little bit firmer, and you can see here there's the we're showing you the dollar versus the Swiss franc, and that saltine is lifting up, and you can see over here on J4X. It's trying to change also. It's moving down a little bit, just like our daily is, like right there. You can see that. Look at that. The histogram is below the zero line, and the white line is below, but this thing is lifting up all of a sudden. And our weekly went into the weekly buy last week, and it's trying to firm up even more from the close. I guess dollars are being bought. You know, Mrs. Yellen's gonna, kind of, she wants to go big, as she said yesterday in her Senate hearings, and I think they may confirm her before Biden is sworn in. She may be, Secretary of Treasurer before Biden is president of the United States. So that's pretty interesting there. They want to go big. You know, since when have most politicians not wanted to go big when it comes to spending? And that's usually the way it rolls. Hey, Robin, what's happening? Huh? What's happening? It's a rock and roll day, and we'll see. The Dow was up about 120 points last I saw it. It's actually only up at like 30 now, so it's gotten a little thin out there. We'll keep an eye on that action. In fact, maybe I should put it up over here just to see. Let's see. Yeah, now the Dow. Let's see. The S&P 500 is up almost 15 points, so that's pretty good. And the Nasdaq, or the Tech 100, is up almost 100 points. Is it up 100 points? Where is it now? There it is. Yeah, it's up 108 points. And the YM, the Dow itself. Let's see. Where's the YM? Let's put YM in there. YM. And we'll see what that's doing. But last I saw, that was up only like 30 some odd points. Okay, so yes, they got like that. And YM is, where are you, YM? There they are, up 45 points now. So that, it's kind of interesting. Is usually if the S&P 500 is up 14 points, usually the Dow's up like about 130, 125 to 150 points, something like that. Right around in there. That's how the spread usually works. But today it's they're selling it down, and also I've noticed the Russell is minus also. So the pressure is on the Russell at the same time. Interesting. But then we are at all-time highs, and so it is awful tough for anybody to actually think anything else is going on but a slow, steady burn up at this point in time. I see the gold is up at about $8, and I'm looking at platinum down only up. Let's see, where's platinum? Platinum's only up like a buck. We call that the Yellen spread at this point in time because right now that spread is basically trading at about was that about $700, something like that. I guess that's what it is. 750 some odd dollars. It's moved. It's picked up $250 since Mrs. Yellen has been chosen as the Secretary of Treasury, and so when she was Fed chair, um, you know, the spread was around 200, 250. So I kind of think that as time goes on, that spread is going to tighten more and more. Which, Robin, we should probably think about discussing that on a not just the webinar, but putting an article about that over the next week or so. The platinum gold spread, because I think it's going to get tighter and tighter and tighter. Let's see now. Let's check out the rest of the currencies here, and we'll go on to the metals. Or if remember anybody wants to see anything, just shout it out. We'll go after it instantly. So there's that. So the dollar is firming up. Let's check it out with the euro. Let's see how the euro is looking this morning here. I guess a little downwardly pressure. put it over on Chicago Quant at the same time. Right there. Looks like it's down a little bit. But you can see it also, the math is trying to turn up on that, even with it going into the weekly sell last week. And you can see the same thing here, trying to turn up. And this thing's even, well, you can see we have a volatility combination right there. Let's refresh that, but that's showing us some volatility to come, green and red simultaneously. Let's see if it closes that way. This thing here is trying to pierce the little dotted line. And let me see, what else can we discuss about that? I guess that's about it at the moment. And then we go to cable. Well, cable's trying to do the same thing. We got a green and red dot going on there. And it's trying to lift up, and the high today is in the 37s again. So we keep on thinking we were going to see 38s, especially with this weekly buy going on. And let's check it out on J4X. Right there. And it is trying to perk its little head up and get rolling along. I saw where they're asking people in England to take pictures of themselves at home to confirm that they are quarantining themselves. I don't know if this is all real over there or not, or if it's just our wacko media. You just never know with the American media. I'm just waiting for space aliens to invade now next. We won't see their ships. We won't see the aliens, but the media will tell us that space aliens have invaded Earth. It'll be something of that nature. You just don't know with the American media anymore. They are so unique. It's like the Daily Mail and the was it the Sun? When I was a student in England, everybody wanted to see the Daily Mail and I think it was the Sun. They were newspapers, and I think it was like page 4 or page 5. They always had like a topless girl on it. Yeah, and you find that to be odd, you know. But you know, the Financial Times, all the way up until I would like to say until the early 2000s, like 2006, 2007, found a way to have a naked woman, you know, at least topless, somehow on half a page on the weekend section. All the time. Every week. It was like a British thing, I guess. I don't know. No idea what that's all about. But anyway, our tabloids have gone in that direction, if not even more extreme. Let's roll along here. Let's check out the Turkish Lira. Right there against the dollar. Now that's moving down, and let's also check. Oh, let's take a look at the J4X first. Kind of flattish there, and the white line is above. Let's check it out with the Chicago Quant. Right, scroll all the way down, right there, and it's trying to break down. We're below. Let's widen that out also at the same time. You can see our white and black histogram are trying to battle it down. At the same time, we are in the weekly downtrend as we speak, so that pressure is on. I don't see any other questions, so it's okay. We just keep on riding this pony until it stops. We'll just keep on looking through this whole universe here until someone comes up with some question somewhere or product to look at. Not necessarily a question, just say like, hey, I like to look at you know, something, Tesla, silver, you know, whatever, something, anything, and we'll go there. All right, now we slide our way to how we slowly inch our way into the commodities region is what we do. We first look at Canadian, dollar against Canadian, and that shows to be somewhat weakest right there. We'll check it out over here. I thought we were in a daily buy on that, though. Yeah, 2 days on a daily buy in the CAD. And so, okay, now, yeah, they are. They're trying to knock it down now. Went into the buy there. It's kind of bounced around, and now we are threatening definitely a daily sell with a red dot and a minus histogram here. And we're still in that long weekly downtrend from this region here. So that would mean normally there's pressure on, in this case here, pressure on the upside on oil. So then what we do is we drift over to NASCAD and see how that looks. Usually that also helps to identify what's going on. This thing has been in a nice little slopey down pressure, and you can see we're going after a weekly sell after, where's it at? After 11 weeks? 11 weeks. Right there. 11 whole weeks in a buy since this region right here. So on that weekly trend. So we'll see what they're doing there. And now, because of these two particular characteristics of those currencies, let's check out Earl, the oil, the is that light sweet crude Texas tea, right there. And let's find it. And there it is right there. And that's acting strong. Not yeah, that's right. It's supposed to be because Canadian is going down. NAS, well, actually it should be flat because NAS is going sideways down. No, it's going down, the NAS. NASCAD has been going down. But this thing seems to be perking up. So one or the other is going to happen very soon, and that is that this spread here, the NASCAD, is going to bottom and try to turn up, and I guess that's why we're seeing this action here. Now this is a little of a conundrum, so we'll see if this turns back up with it. But yes, that's where we're at. The crude oil is showing life in it again today. 5306, no, was it 5373 is the high now, taking out this high there, and that's pretty impressive. Let's give it a refresh. Yep, looking very firm there. You can see the little green line is trying to break the top of the time manifold, but nothing major going on there. And when it comes to the weekly, let's see if we can tighten this up to see where we went into the weekly. There it is right there. So we went into the buy in the 40-ish area, 40 and a half area, 45-ish area, halfway through the 50s, and now we've almost up $10 from that area. That's interesting. You know, it's $9 up from the weekly buy. And you can see here the daily trend has been tenacious. Been in the buy since the mid 48 area, and now we are flirting with the 50s, 54 area, really 53.73. So it's being very aggressive there. Oh, there we go. There's middle age. April live cattle, April hogs. I appreciate it. Yeah, we have to wait until what? We have an almost like another hour and what's it? 18 minutes, hour and 48 minutes to get it going live. But let's take a look at that because you know Robin was dealing with somebody yesterday about that. You can see here's cattle. Let's give that a refresh. You can see cattle trying to get it almost made it into the buy. It was, look at that. Look at plot 1. I mean, it was like what's that? Minus 0.01. I mean, and the plot 4 is minus 0.02. And you'd assume that the moment this thing, you know, even gets some legs into it, it's going to turn up. Now you can see here the green line is even trying to get right back over the zero line. That slope is really tight, and our histogram is actually higher than last week's histogram. We'll see. This thing has been trapped in a range. And I was saying to Robin, I guess the best way to describe it is that it's in that range. It's trapped in a range. We should see some strength for the next couple of days, and then we'll see if it rolls over again and goes into a sell with a weekly sell, and then it could be sold. And that's what. And now I was saying to Robin, producers have to think about maybe selling some as it rises up and it goes into the sell, solely because we're in a weekly sell here. But this action more overall is indicative of this just long, steady trend, and it's actually like a reverse head and shoulders, like as if the world is starving and the prices are going to go even higher. And then yesterday there was a great article about China buying how much corn and wheat they're still buying and buying more and more and more. So, I guess as we keep on seeing this world starvation thing going on, because only it seems like the United States has the ability to feed a third of the planet or half the planet itself besides ourselves, there's a lot to be said about that whole story that obviously is never talked about, how much we have an ability to grow and feed ourselves in a really horrible environment sometimes, really. I mean, the North American continent is a rough environment when it comes to weather, but we've found ways to grow food, that's for sure. Now, so there's feeders. Let's go and check out. Let's widen that again too. Let's go check out hogs, because I thought hogs had lifted and then I think they got smacked yesterday. And no, they're still in the buy. Now let's give this a refresh, just to double check what data has come in overnight from it all. And still battling, trying to be in a buy, that's for sure. We got a volatility signal here, and you can see the weekly is trying to roll over again. This daily sell was interesting in the sense of, first of all, I guess that's right there. So the daily sell was interesting in the sense of this topping out on the hogs, and it's been giving the pressure here. But overall, we'll see if that does the same as the cattle, because they seem to have traded a lot alike. As you can see, it's almost like the same reverse head and shoulders thing going on here. They're working on this side of the shoulder, and it has broken the low there. It's real choppy, but overall, the pressure does seem to be more of the upside, and you can see here we're coming to maybe the end of this, and this is has gotten into the daily buy. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. Only thing that probably confuses it as usual. And there's always an excuse for something, I guess you could say. But the political stuff going on. We'll see how that goes. I am long April live cattle. Oh yes, and that's right. We have that. We did that yesterday. We are. Let's take a look at April cattle. We put that in for you, didn't we? I know. I was looking at it. I was kind of surprised at the $5.50 spread. There it is, right there. Yeah. See, now that's in a daily buy for yesterday. You might. Talk to. What we might do is send. I'm not sure if it's worth sending both of them over to you, or just switching you to April, since you're trading this. You can see there it closed in the buy there yesterday. And matter of fact, it's still in a weekly buy too. That's what's curious. Let me go back to the other one, right? The other one's in a weekly sell, right? So front month is in a weekly sell. Yeah. Okay. That's interesting. So I think we should be sending that over to you, Muscle. I think we should be sending that contract over to you. Matter of fact, we should probably be sending both of them over to you. Maybe you can tell us what you see in the sense of this cattle situation. Maybe the front month is not necessarily as liquid as it used to be. I'll have to have Robin check out the liquidity in it. So maybe we're seeing a really poor market in the front month cattle. Yeah, what's that? It's is that February cattle, right? So I guess it goes off in what's today? Today's the 20th, right? So it goes off in 35 days. So what's that like? I guess divide, something like 25 trading days. Yeah, I think it's like February 13th or February 15th, right? It expires. So it may be just now we're just seeing delivery noise at this point. Maybe there's a lot of and I mean, is that normal to see that type of spread between cattle too? I think of it like a currency. When you see the back month and the front month, that dramatic of 6+ cents or 5.5 cents, that must mean something, Are we seeing a squeeze in a sense? Having a sip of my tea again. Just figured I'd take the advantage of that while I'm asking you a question. Yeah, I think you should be seeing the April contract, don't you? Wouldn't it be better for you to see April contract? Because I mean, it's in a weekly buy still. So I mean, it's not the best of things of trying to trade April and stare at. I guess you might be watching the spread itself though too, right? I think that's the way it rolls. All right. Anyway, that's where we are, and I think that's definitely well worth thinking about, is moving right over to the April contract for everybody, because this Feb contract might not be really worth watching. Let's talk about that, Robin, after the webinar. All right. So where did we leave off? We were looking at oil, right? We were doing the oil thing. So let's just jump back to that real quick, and I'll save that too at the same time. So there's the oil thing. That oil thing. The oil thing. And I did switch the month. I did. I moved over to March last night. So that's a good thing too. In March oil. Now we usually go through that sector in general, and there's February heating oil, not heating oil, natural gas, and it's leaking. It's definitely leaky, very leaky. Daily sell, But look at this weekly thing going on. What is that all about? I wonder if I have the wrong one in there or something. Let's just double check this. Something says something weird about this all. No, they're both the same contract. Okay. So the weekly, look at that. The way it's launched itself. It seems so weird. What is that all about? So it's screaming at us, don't be long on a daily basis. And the weekly seems to have jacked itself after, I don't know, what was it, like 16, no, I guess not that long. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. After 13 weeks in a sell, it went into a buy. You know, but it went into a sell up in here in the 3s and change. Now we're in the 2s and change. You know, it's like 80 cents down. That's a lot. That's a big move. I don't know what this is all about. You know, you can see this pop that we had here. It was that crazy spike. It caught that. You know, but then it just rolled over and died. Let's see. Yeah, April is a lot stronger and open interest is building. LC expires last business day of the contract month. Last business day. Oh my God! So it's got like a whole month and a half to go, huh? Wow. I guess it's the grains that expire in the middle of the month, and then the meats expire at the end of the month. Bummer. Which one has more open interest, Robin, and which one is trading more volume each day? Check that out, because there's something there that we need to definitely change. Anyway, over back to the currency side of it, in the sense of the energies, you can see these things are moving down, and I'd imagine the dollar's getting stronger. Maybe we're going to be doing less drilling. I guess maybe we're going to be... That doesn't make any sense, though, because natural gas is dropping. I guess it's the temperatures in the North America. The temperatures are not as cold as they normally are, with that North Pole now almost 1,000 miles off course and into Siberia. You know, it's having an effect on our weather. Let's see. What else can we talk about here when it comes to that? Thank you, Robin. I appreciate that. And then what do we? And then you and I should figure out what we're doing about that afterwards. Let's see. So that is natural gas. So let's save that. That weekly is being really weird, isn't it? Wow. I wonder if this thing's just going to go next like by Friday or something like that. It'll, you know, all of a sudden just curve, and the next thing you know, on Monday this thing will be like this one here, you know, in the natural gas. And Dukascopy has natural gas. Let's see what that looks like also. There is Brent. There's the natural gas. Yeah, look at that thing bury itself. You know, since this high here. Very strange. That action is very strange. How does gold look? Let's take a look. George, thank you for asking. Thank you. There it is on Dukascopy. You can see it's firm. We were looking at that a little earlier in the sense of just the prices, not the charts. And gold, well, gold's just dropped $3 since we talked about it. How about that? All right, but you can see it's trying to turn up here. And then let's check out over on Chicago Quant. Where's it at? Gold. Trying to get going. Look at that. But that weekly's rolled over too. Let's move that sucker. I think if we can get rid of it, we'll leave it like that. So it's trying, but it's, you know, it didn't get through the weekly buy, and it's, you know, dip-diddy-doo-dah down. So we're seeing that pressure still. Still seeing pressure here. We'll save that. Let's refresh it too. Let's do a refresh. So gold, you know, again, currencies and gold seem to be analogous to each other, you know, because they're used interchangeably. And then you can see it too with the Bitcoin also. Let's save that. No, not that. Let's go like this. Save. There we are. Oh, we got to move that down again too. Oh, we'll just save it right there. So gold is not, I mean, it looked like they were trying to take off this morning. I mean, look at the highs in that thing. What was that? That was It was up to 56.80. Right now it's 56. So it's $13 lower off its high. Ouch. Ouch. You can see the tail here. And then I guess we should check out silver. And there's silver right there. Same thing, it has a big tail. And but trapped in that sideways gig. You can see it's trying to turn there on the J4X. And then we have it right there. Been in a daily buy, but going the wrong way on that daily buy. And we're in a weekly sell, so the pressure is on there. I guess money is now, first Mrs. Yellen's going to be our Secretary of Treasury. So you have to figure whatever policies, whatever's going on there. You know what I mean? Like I said, I really think the platinum gold spread is where it's at. I really do. I think that, matter of fact, it's just picked up another $5 or $6 since we've been speaking, where platinum is, it lost about $2.50. It's lost $2.50 for the day. At one point, it was 8 or 9. And gold is having its issues. It's dropping, and the spread now is down to $2.20 as we're speaking. Now it's $2.40. Now it's $2.50, $2.30. I mean, so we're looking at a whole different complexion of how currencies are going to be maneuvered, adjusted, the trading range. The Secretary of Treasury in the United States defines if it's being manipulated or not by other currencies. So, it's going to be a new gig here. We're going to be looking at a whole different game very soon. Especially, like I said, Mrs. Yellen's probably going to be confirmed over the next couple of hours. And I wouldn't be surprised if she's confirmed by 10 o'clock or something like that. It's in less than, let's put it this way, less than 2 hours, more than likely, she may be confirmed. Spread's now $1.10. When we started having this conversation about it, it was $7 up today. The gold was against the platinum, up $7. Right now, it is unchanged. It just lost $7 in this discussion. Now, platinum is ahead by $1. So it's swung $8 now, heading for $9 on the spread in reverse. So, there's a whole game going on there that, we as traders have to be aware of, because that's going to have a great influence on the currencies. All right, let's see. Did I save this? Let me save this one too. So this thing is dipped. Look at that. It's dipping towards the sell number. Let's see what it's doing on J4X. J4X, it's still firm. We'll see how that rolls by the end of the day. This is silver. We'll see what the pressure shows. And you can see 225.31.30 on the cash on the futures contract. And look at the spot. Spot's not that far off. It's only like 4 or 5 cents off. So that's pretty good. It's a really tight market there. That's very good. All right. We're heading. Let's go look at platinum now that we're in the metals complex. And then we'll jump over to soybean oil. But yeah, there you go. And you can see here, let's refresh that. This thing's holding up much better. You can see the red dots here the last 2 days, but it's still in the daily buy. And the weekly is very firm in here. So again, April platinum spread against, which was it? Are we looking at February gold? I think that's what it is. Or might be even be April. Are we looking at April gold? Let's just go back to gold real quick. Let me just save this too while I'm mumbling about it. But it obviously looks like that spread is going to be more and more in its favor. And that's because when Mrs. Yellen was Fed chair, that spread was nowhere near out of whack like it is today. And and remember, these central banks and the Federal Reserve like to use the metals as surrogate currencies. So it's a combination of all of it. Yeah, Feb gold. Okay. All right. And so let's see what we do. Oh, and then let's take a look at copper. Copper was kind of funny. I thought it was almost made it into the buy there yesterday, and then it rolled over when the data came in towards the end of the day. It was curious there. Now there it is. It's trying to go back into the buy again. I love this back and forth, back and forth. So we're just going to throw that in there like that. And if this thing closes up in there, then copper's got it. Now, this is interesting. You can see the weekly's trying to roll over in it. This marketplace and the way they move data in and out of it constantly is getting weirder and weirder every day. Let's see right there. Copper. There we go. And let's see what copper looks like over on J4X. Right there. It's trying, yeah. Look at that. It's trying to get in and out there. And then, oh, do you need to look at the oil again? We can look at the oil again. Let's do that. Let's go look at the oil again for you. We'll put it up on J4X too at the same time. Light sweet right there. And then let's put it up over here. And there's the oil again. You see we've moved over to March oil. It's trying to hold up. It's real thin there. Look at that. That daily is flirting. Let's give it a refresh again. But for some reason, it's trying to roll over like the way that natural gas thing is doing. And the weekly is nice and firm. You know, so the strength is there, but not at the moment. It's getting a little scary. Let's see if they roll over today. What's today? Wednesday, right? So don't they do that? We get a inventory number in 2.5 hours. So they may be backing away for that. Now remember, traders, oil and the metals are truly surrogate currencies because there's such volume in them. Matter of fact, oil is like the currencies are the most, let's see, when it comes to most active products on the planet to trade, obviously the currencies are number one. I guess you could say the bonds are number one. Then the currencies are number two. And they're obviously the amount of currency being traded is smaller than the amount of bonds being traded, but they are enormous overall. Both of them are enormous. And then you have oil, which is enormous. It's the biggest of the commodities futures by far. I mean, enormously bigger. You know, a volume is like, 10 times the next one, something like that. It's incredible. 10 times, not just 10. And obviously, when you're looking at currencies volume is enormous. It's like 10 times bigger than oil. And then the bonds, the bond market across the planet is like 10 times bigger than the currency market. So they're really big markets. And then the markets, the rest of them get really small compared to those. I mean, really small. And at the same time, now you have the cryptos. And boy, there's some. Robin sent over an article yesterday on the cryptos. There was a great article about that the clearinghouses and who is long and who's not long and so forth and so on. And you can see here again, we're down again today in this sell that we went into here. It's not really going too far, but we are about, I don't know, is that updating? I guess that is. Last I saw, Bitcoin was like trading in the 33s. So let's see what it is doing on J4X. There it is right there. It's popped up. I think the low is, there's 33,960. That's the low today in the futures contract. You can see here, it's having its pressure here. It's falling down just like on our Chicago quant side of it. See, it's both backing off using this indicator that we promote. For if you can't see our work, at least try to use this. They're a little bit more insightful. They have a correlation to our math by about 68%, which is not bad when you don't have nothing. It's better than having nothing, that's for sure. That's probably like the best way to follow us if you don't have us, that type of thing. And so you can see here the weeklies are still holding up, and the daily has been in a sell now for for 4 days. This is the 4th day, and we are playing with the lows. There's a lot of really weird, bad stories about the clearinghouses. It's not the cryptocurrencies themselves, it's the infrastructure. That's the problem. Because when you buy these cryptocurrencies, you're not necessarily buying them, you're buying a surrogate. Because you need a conversion from dollars to, or whatever currency you're in to the actual crypto. And there's some bad stories out there and some bad problems, and I don't know how long that's going to last. in the sense of how they clean that up. So traders got to be careful there. Also, I'm just back to middle-aged muscle. I see that the spread closed out over $6, and I remember yesterday when we talked about it, it was $5.50. So it was a pretty good move in the April contract there, and when it comes to cattle. So I think what we'll do is and like I said, Robin, I think we need to send April out to everybody, because anybody who's watching April cattle, and not looking at the Feb anymore, is going to be like, oh, wait a minute, you're bullish on that, and that's what the math says. That's what it is, Don't have much to say about that, especially if it's liquid. So there we are with that. And let's save the Bitcoin too at the same time. Did I refresh that? Let me just double check if we refresh that. I think it is, but it looks just like J4X right now when it comes to price. Yeah, it's trading at where's it at now? 34,600. So let's save that. So this is like I said, it's going to be interesting. We got some real coming around the corner, and we're at all-time highs in indices. There's a lot of things going on there that we have to deal with. Really, it's nothing that it has to be dealt with. Now here's the oil complex, the last part of it, and that is the bean oil. Let's refresh that. And you can see that market is open, and it's still in a daily buy, but it is rolling down, and we're in a weekly buy for so long. Let's see, where did it go into the weekly buy? Right there, back in late October. So the pressure is on, and we'll see what they do if they try to go after the sell here. This thing hasn't even busted the time manifold, but the energy sector overall looks sideways. Oil up, natural gas down, but in a weekly buy. This thing in a weekly buy. This is in a daily buy, but rolling over. From the sell here to then it went into the buy here off that one spike, and it's not doing a thing with it. I mean, they just can't get it to go. So the energy sector is becoming more and more fascinating with the crazy directions. But again, there's talk like he's going to try to cut the pipeline today or something like that. Biden, when he becomes president, he's going to try to starve us out on oil and make us import more again. I guess he has a deal with somebody. I don't know. He'll probably sell our oil to China for a low price. Probably something crazy like that. Democrats, they do those weird things like that. Strange. All right, so there we go. We'll save the bean oil there. All right. Let's see if there's any other questions. Oh, yeah. Middle Age says Feb cattle volume 17,811. April 25,000. Oh, yeah, definitely. We need to jump over to the April product. I think we'll do that for everybody, because I think it's very disingenuous showing the Feb. And then if anybody wants to, if they're using the Feb to still hedge themselves, wow, they're gutsy. I mean, most people don't. Middle Age, you're one of the traders that likes to use options, right? You use options, but a lot of people don't, and they hedge with selling the contract, so they're basically out. They're out of their position instantly. When you sell a futures contract against your long, you're done. It's over with. You're out of the. You've sold your crop. It's done. Whereas if you utilize options, you still own your crop. Yeah, options are the way to go. There's no doubt about that. I know that it scares a lot of people, but if you use them right, if you turn them into spreads and you just all kinds of combinations, it works out really well. You risk enormously less and have potentially more profits in the end. All right, let's see, where are we at this point? I guess we'll move over to, we've done the energies and we've done the metals, right? So do we want to look at the stock indices? What do we want to look at? Does anybody want to see anything particular? If not, we'll take a look at the 4 stock indices, because they're getting a little weird today too. We'll see what that does. Now here is, let's go right to the what I like to call the millennial, or the really important index, and that is this one, right? Let's see, where's it at? It's on Dukascopy. It's called the Tech 100. It's known as the Nasdaq 100 here in the United States. And you can see it's rocking and a rolling. I think it's playing at a new all-time high as we speak. Right there. And right there. Yeah, it's at all-time highs right now because there's the all-time high closes 13,097 with a high of 13,125. Somebody was in here and said once they break that 113.25, it's going to, I think they said it was going to like 32.75, I think, something like that. So we'll see what they do here. You can see we've made a high now of, it hasn't broken the high, but it's broken the closing price. That's what it is. Okay. So it hasn't broken the 25 yet. Is it 25? Yeah, 25. So it's still about 15 points underneath. And let's give it a refresh. Now, last night this thing closed in a buy and it had a green dot. Don't ask me how that's doing that now. I have no idea what they did to it. But it closed in a daily buy and it was in a green dot and it's doing what it is, and I'm leaving it like it is. And then who knows, by tomorrow they'll put more data in there and they'll change it again. But I'm staying with what we saw. You can see here it's giving us a volatility signal at the same time, but still, as far as I'm concerned, it closed in the buy last night, and we can show you what we saw last night and how it closed. Let's show you that. I hate when this happens. It drives me crazy. They put data in the middle of the night out of nowhere of the same day. So it's not put in last night's data. They go and put in new data and change the volume and so forth. And the high and the lows and all overnight. How they do that, I don't understand how they get away with it, because it's the clearinghouses. They're doing it. Let's see, where can we find that here? Let's show you what last night's chart looked like. Yeah, right there. You can see it closed in the buy there last night. Daily. I mean, I don't know what is that game and what's going on, but look at that. You can see when I minimize, let's just minimize that for a second. I'll go move it down. Look at that. They changed the close even, didn't they? What did they have? They used a close of 985, and this shows a close of like 1330 something. So it's like 40 points higher on the close last night. And then they changed the close. They literally changed the close by 50 points. I don't get it. And then tomorrow when we do this, it'll do it again. It'll be like back up there again or something. It's like, I don't understand what's going on there. This is starting to become a little too fishy all the way around for me. Let's see. So yes, there it is right there. That is where we're staying. It's in a long, as far as I'm concerned, and I am not deviating from it. Let's see. Let's save that data right there. Our math is very sensitive. It picks up all kinds of things. Then you can see here, there's the S&P. Now the S&P did close in a sell last night. No problem there. I'm not concerned about that. That was normal. Let's see. Where is that at? Let's show you. See, it was fine. It was in a sell. Okay, I can accept that. No problem. Boom. And it's still in a sell, and that's nice. Now today they're flirting with the buy, and that's fine. That makes total sense. I mean, we are at an inch away from all-time highs. So I mean, yeah. I mean, Matt, you would think it would be taken off, and you're in a weekly buy anyway on both products, so no way you could be short. You just wouldn't be long. So that's what the math does by using both indicators. Is it keeps you out of trouble. You may not make money, but one thing's for sure, you don't lose money, and that's the key right there. So let's save that. And that's the S&P 500 right there. Now let's check out the Russell. There's the Russell today. The Russell is flirting with its daily sell. Let's give it a refresh. It has been on fire. These stocks, okay, now it's just about up. It's still the weekly's up. Lots of green in every direction. It's healthy as all get out. And then we'll take a look at the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Right there. Now it's trying to get into the buy, and I would imagine today it was pushing up. It may have its issues with that now. Yeah, it's still fighting it. We've had red dots for 3 days anyway. It's in a weekly buy, but it's telling you not to be long at the moment. It's in a neutral position. See, so that is where we're at with the product here, and we'll save that. And again, with all these products at all-time highs, it's awful hard to take anything too serious about what anybody says about it. That's why we just trust the quants as much as all-time highs. Our math gets skewy because of this too. We've seen this so many times over the last 4 decades. Over 40 years, every time we're at all-time highs, the math gets really wonka. Whereas when we're at all-time lows, it's very accurate, which is really odd. So it must have a lot of profit taking going on, and it has great influences on us. So that's where we are. Did I say that? I think I did, didn't I? Let's just double check. I was talking through that. And right there, let's save that. There we are. So that pretty much does it with the energies, the metals, and the stock indices. We have a good idea what's going on there. Then the best thing of all is, and we saw the crypto at the same time, which we usually include with the indices now. And then we have these two products here, and that is the 10-year bond right there. And you can see it's been in a daily buy. It's vacillating, but it's in a weekly sell. Let's reload that. You see that pressure is on it there. And it's going sideways up, meaning when this goes up, interest rates are going down. So they are trying to bring interest rates down at the moment. That's what's going on there. But it's kind of trapped in it a little bit, going sideways like that. And so that's the 10-year. And then the 30-year, which we also follow, right there. The 30-year just went into the buy yesterday. Let's give it a refresh. And it's still holding up. No, wait a minute. What happened there? So that doesn't belong there again because this histogram is minus. So we're stuck. This is still in the sell from here and going sideways with the 30-year. Now, I think we looked at those quotes yesterday. 30 years yielding about 1.9%, which is pretty good numbers in a planet that has 17 trillion, not billion, not million, but trillion with a T, in zero return. In other words, you buy the bond, you have to pay to own the bond interest. You pay the bond people interest. They don't pay you interest. You can see here we're still in a weekly sell here. This thing has been in a sell since there. The pressure's on that for 3 weeks. So what's up to, let's save this. Let's see, where's that? Save image. Let's save this. And then let's do this. Let's take a look again at the 10-year. That's in a weekly sell too, right? Yeah, weekly sell but daily buy. Okay. So the shorter term money is reaching in. Longer term money is walking away. And I guess they're going to wait and see. Now, I saw Japan yesterday also at the same time said that they want to push up their 10-year bond. They're interested in getting their longer rates higher now. So I guess what's that do? That just drives money towards them, right? And all they do is print more money and they can pay the interest. See, that's the thing which is really strange, is forcing these countries to how underwater is some of these countries where they trade bonds at a minus. In other words, they can't even afford to print money to pay you interest on buying their bond. That says a lot, I don't know. This is like really weird times sometimes. Very weird. So anyway, there's where we stand with the interest rate market at the same time, which used to be the paramount to currency trading. You used to watch the interest rates in the individual countries and then know if you looked at the employment numbers and the GDP, gross domestic product, and you looked at inflation, and then you looked at the interest rate and you knew what you could buy and what you could sell. Now, with the central banks running everything, it's kind of weird. All right, now here is, look at that. Today, soybeans are moving down a little bit there. But look at the weekly; it's still strong. So I guess it's kind of like some type of Best way to describe that is just a little profit taking at all-time highs. So we'll save that. Let's check out. Now we saw, what was it, bean oil is doing that same thing. So now we know kind of why bean oil is feeling its pressure and it's not holding on to the oil complex as well as it normally does. Let's see what's going on here. Something's wrong here. Let's do this. Cancel that. What is this? Oh, I see. There it is right there. Move that down like that. And then save that. There we are. There we go. All right, so now we take a look at corn. Corn's trying to do the same thing. We got that trying to lean over at the same time. Remember, these products have been in weekly buys for almost half a year. So one's been in a buy for 22 weeks. The other one's been in a buy for 21 weeks. So we're seeing pressure on both these products here. Let's put that red thing in there. I think I have to go back to the soybeans and do the same thing. Put a red line in there too. I forgot to do that. So let's do that. Let's save this. And traders, remember, these large commodities act like currencies. So, you know, was it Dukascopy has soybeans on J4X. We'll take a look at that too through J4X in a few seconds here. Let's just redo this. This is corn, right? So that's corn. And then we go back to the soybeans like that right there and put a red line in there also. It's flirting with the sell. Like that. There we go. There we go. There we are. Now, let's check out the wheat. I think wheat was in a sell yesterday, right? Yeah. It's been in a sell for a couple of days. So the pressure is mounting more and more. Now let's give it a refresh. Yeah, so that's still riding south. All three of them are still holding up in their weeklies with no problem. So I guess there's just some profit taking, like nervousness type of thing going on. I would assume it's that. That's the way I would look at it at the moment. You know, just some type of profit taking, or some type of concern like that. We'll see if the things roll over there. Now here's the feeders, and this is March feeders. And you can see the feeders are holding up pretty well here. That was yesterday. No, that's today, isn't it? Today's the 20th. That was 19th. Didn't know feeders start trading this early. Okay, now they pulled it. And look at it, the weekly. It's showing that weakness. You know, it's showing us that why it's kind of trying to roll over. This buying the last day and a half is kind of interesting. See how long that lasts. Like a last hurrah. We did bean oil. That's why that's weak. We understand that. And there's the meal. And the meal's doing the same thing, the rollover. Again, I have to believe it's just profit taking with the politics that's going on. You know, you might as well take some money off the table for those that are long. I mean, I think meal's been in a buy for weekly buy since July. Is it July? No, it's August. Since August, the middle of August, it's been in a buy. So it's a long way out there. A lot of pressure there on the upside there. All right, and then I thought red wheat was fascinating in the sense that, you know, yesterday it tried to get into a buy during the trading day, and then it rolled over. And there's that pressure there. You know, closed in the daily sell there yesterday, and it's, you know, still moving down. But at one point, it made a new high, as you can see right there. So red wheat yesterday morning when we were talking about it was making a new high, and then they rolled over the rest of the way. Again, another product that's been in a long buy. This thing's been in a long buy since Augie Doggy also. Since August. All right. And so that's pretty much... Oh, there's the oats. I bet oats is starting to roll too. They're flattening out, that's for sure. And you can see the pressure on that one now. You know, they're all, like I said, it has to be profit taking, obviously. I mean, why would anybody want to take a risk on who knows how many executive orders today he's going to sign that will just take our economy and go, it'll just like go, to go sideways. So anything, that I was an environmental chairman at one time, and in government, and I used to open up every one of my meetings. I used to say, I am active in my environment, but I am not an environmental activist. So when I gavelled and started the meeting, I would say that I am active in the environment, but I am not an environmental activist. And so today we have a president who is talking about the new Green Deal or something like that. So I have no idea what the hell is going to happen by the end of the day. Things could get really weird. So we'll see. All right, traders, what else do we got going on here? We've looked at the grains, we've looked at the currencies, we've looked at the metals, we've looked at the oils, we've looked at the stock indices. We see Bitcoin having its issues just from the clearinghouse side of it more than anything else, because I really do believe in these cryptocurrencies, but I think a more solid system would be a lot better, and prices could dip in those things just not because of its cryptocurrency, but because of the clearinghouse and the problems they have with the clearinghouses. So it sounds like we're moving into some strange fundamental. Matter of fact, there was a headline in, I don't think it was the Wall Street Journal. It was the where was it? I saw a headline. Well, it might have been the Wall Street Journal. Yeah, it was the Wall Street Journal. It said everybody on Wall Street thinks everybody's long cryptocurrencies, and when doing an interview with each one of the clearinghouses and brokerage houses, almost nobody is long cryptocurrencies on Wall Street. It was a little surprise there to hear that, because I saw, what's his name, from Guggenheim, who seems to be always wrong. He stepped up and started buying, Bitcoin at 20 some odd thousand. He put a little better than $500 million into it. And he's probably picked up $500 million, but they're out of the stock market, so they've missed an enormous amount of move of the stock market. So in other words, the stock market's gone from 20,000 to 30,000, and he's lightened his stock position up at 20,000. So that's like, ouch. So I'm glad he's got something making money. But a lot of Wall Street is going in the wrong direction when it comes to a lot of these products. And one thing that was very curious is the fact that a lot of them claim that they think everybody else is long this thing on Wall Street, and nobody is long it. That's the weird part about it. So that puts even a bigger scare into the marketplace, because that means people start scratching their heads, and if there's an executive order or two that hinders these cryptos, so it takes the business away from the crypto market and throws it back onto Wall Street. Remember, Wall Street is, the sales side is a bunch of Democrats. And so they have a lot of influence now on legislation. So remember, traders and members of exchanges were more conservative, and they were part of capitalism and the Constitution. And the retailers, the guys that sell things, were mainly the Democrats. So there's a lot of pressure on the new administration to probably hurt cryptos and do things that will benefit the brokerage houses. So be careful, traders. Something weird is going on. There's a lot of warning signs. So we'll see how that goes there. All right. This is Doc from North America. We will catch you on Thursday. Happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you, to all our trading